Hey everyone, welcome back. In this video, we're talking about Artemis II, NASA's first crewed mission to fly around the moon in over 50 years. We'll cover the history behind it, what the mission actually involves, who's on the crew, and why it matters. Let's get into it. To understand Artemis II, we need to go back to the Apollo era. Between 1969 and 1972, 12 humans walked on the moon across 6 Apollo missions. Apollo 17 in December 1972 was the last time humans left Earth orbit. After that, the program was shut down due to budget cuts and a loss of political momentum. For the next several decades, human spaceflight stayed close to home, the Space Shuttle, the International Space Station, all in low Earth orbit just a few hundred miles above us. In 2017, NASA announced the Artemis program, a plan to return humans to the moon and eventually use it as a base to reach Mars. The first mission, Artemis I, launched in November 2022. It was uncrewed, just the rocket and the Orion capsule, flying a 25-day loop around the moon and back to test all the systems. It worked perfectly. Artemis II is the next step, same mission profile, but this time with 4 astronauts on board. Artemis II uses 2 main pieces of hardware. The first is the Space Launch System, NASA's new heavy-lift rocket. It's currently the most powerful rocket in operation, standing about 320 feet tall. It burns liquid hydrogen and liquid oxygen and produces over 8 million pounds of thrust at liftoff. On top of SLS sits the Orion capsule, the crew module that will carry the 4 astronauts. Orion is built for deep space. It has radiation shielding, life support for up to 21 days, and is designed to re-enter Earth's atmosphere at around 25,000 miles per hour on return. 4 astronauts are flying on Artemis II. Reid Wiseman, Mission Commander, U.S. Navy Test Pilot, ISS veteran. Victor Glover, Pilot, U.S. Navy Test Pilot. He will be the first person of color to travel beyond Earth orbit. Christina Koch, Mission Specialist, NASA astronaut who holds the record for the longest spaceflight by a woman. She'll be the first woman to travel to the vicinity of the moon. Jeremy Hansen, Mission Specialist from the Canadian Space Agency. He'll be the first non-American to travel beyond Earth orbit. Each of them brings years of training and mission experience. The crew entered quarantine in January 2026 ahead of the launch. Artemis II is a 10-day mission. Here's the basic flight plan. The crew launches from Kennedy Space Center. Once in orbit, they spend the first 24 hours running systems checks and actually manually pilot Orion toward the detached rocket stage and back, a test that prepares future crews for docking with the lunar lander. After that, Orion fires its engine and heads toward the moon on a free return trajectory, a path that uses the moon's gravity to bring the spacecraft back to Earth naturally, even if the engines fail. The crew will travel about 4,600 miles beyond the moon, the farthest any human has ever been from Earth. During this phase, they'll get a direct view of the lunar far side and briefly lose all communication with mission control as the moon blocks the signal. Then Earth's gravity pulls them home. Orion re-enters the atmosphere at around 25,000 miles per hour. The heat shield handles temperatures near 5,000 degrees Fahrenheit. Parachutes slow it down, and it splashes down in the Pacific Ocean. No moon landing on this mission, that's Artemis III. Artemis II is purely about proving every system works before we put people on the surface. There are a few reasons Artemis II is significant. First, it's a critical test. Before NASA sends astronauts to actually land on the moon, they need to verify that the rocket, the spacecraft, and the crew systems all perform correctly in deep space. Second, deep space exposes astronauts to higher levels of radiation than in low Earth orbit. Understanding how the human body responds to that environment is essential for planning longer missions to Mars. Artemis II will collect that data. Third, NASA's long-term plan isn't just to visit the moon. It's to establish a sustained presence there. The moon's south pole has water ice, which can be converted into drinking water and even rocket fuel. That makes the moon a potential refueling stop for future deep space missions. NASA is currently targeting no earlier than April 1st, 2026 for launch. If all goes as planned, Artemis II will be the first time humans have left Earth orbit since December 1972. That's everything about Artemis II. Drop your questions in the comments and subscribe if you want to follow along as the launch gets closer.